Welcome to Canterbury Live for Monday. I'm Annie, your host. It's lovely to have you. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. We've got a great show today, but if you were thinking of going to the Warbirds over Wanaka, you might like a family pass or two. Well, we've got two family passes to give away. So give Mary Ann a ring at the desk and she'll take your calls about those passes. On the show today, the 2nd of April marks the World Autism Day. So we've got Robin Young who's coming in to talk to us about that and what's happening around Canterbury. And we're also going to discover some creative ways to serve food platters. I'm looking forward to seeing that too. But first of all, I've got a lovely guest here, Professor Simon Kingham. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us.
No problem, Annie.
It's kind of a bit of a hot potato to talk about cycling in Christchurch, cycling around Canterbury. You actually, as a professor, you've got a great passion in transport and sustainability as well, don't you?
That's right, yes.
So how do you see that, sort of in terms of cycling coming in between there?
Well, I think transport is very closely linked to sustainability, so generally if we can change the way we travel, we actually improve the sustainability of our city and our planet. But we also improve the health of people, we make ourselves more resilient. There's a whole range of good reasons why we should try and change behaviour in terms of transport, and cycling's a big part of that. So
how do you think, on the whole, cycling is happening here in Christchurch? Do you think it's a positive experience for people, or do you think there are some negatives in there at the moment?
Cycling, Christchurch has been the cycling city, so it's well known as a city for cycling. But in recent years, the number of people cycling has gone down. We're still one of the cities that has the highest rates of cycling in New Zealand, but we've declined over a number of years. But what's happened since the earthquake is people are starting to say, look, actually cycling can be part of the future again. And so we have an increasing number of people cycling since the last census, so we know there are more people cycling. And of course the council are now coming up with some really exciting plans to put in place more cycleways to get more people cycling, and so they're talking about investing.
Well, that does sound good. What about the Green Party's proposal to spend $200 million on safer cycling to school? What do you think about that proposal?
It has a lot of merit in it. I'm not sure about whether the numbers stack up, but certainly the idea of encouraging more kids to cycle to school is a really good idea. And what they're proposing is spending $200 million to make the area around schools safer for kids to make that choice. Because at the moment, we pretty much know that a lot of kids like cycling, so a lot of kids cycle at weekends, but we also know that the number cycling to schools has declined over a number of years. And when you talk to people, the main reason they don't choose to cycle is because they say it's unsafe. So what the Green Party are proposing is to target particular junctions, particular places to make it safer so that kids can walk and cycle to school.
Well, how do you make a school more safe?
Well, there's a couple of issues. Of course, a lot of people drive, so the immediate vicinity around the school is really unsafe. So it gets to the point where people just think there's too much traffic in the immediate vicinity. So one thing you can do is actually try and improve the safety of that. So walking school buses are an idea. People have things called cycling trains you can have. But you can also do other things like encourage kids to be dropped off if the parents have to take them to school, to drop them off 500 metres away, for instance, and then the kids walk the last 500 metres.
Do you think in reality that will happen more? I know a lot of parents are really busy, they're in a hurry, they're dropping off, they want to just, you know, do that and go. What do you think the reality of them dropping their children further away?
Well, sometimes it might actually make their journey a bit easier, because actually they know that getting near the school is actually quite difficult, and schools aren't always on major highways, major routes that they're travelling on. So in some ways it could be more convenient. But I think what it probably needs is schools to actually identify the places. So they might say, look, these are 4 or 5 places, probably work a bit with their local council, and then make sure that those places are safe themselves. So you wouldn't make one of the places across a busy main road. You'd put it on the side of the road where the school is.
Right. And then do you think there'd have to be more people involved with actually patrolling those areas? Yeah, you might need that, or you might set up walking school buses that go from those places. But I think it would need the school to buy into the culture to encourage it, because we know lots of kids like cycling, and we know safety is the thing that stops them. So what we need to do is encourage their already desire to cycle by making it safer for them, and make the parents feel safer about doing it too. I must say it is nice to see parents and children all cycling together. They've got their safety helmets on and they're all, you know, learning how to, you know, the children are learning, and being with their parents must be the, you know, one of the best ways to learn how to cycle safely.
Absolutely, and do it as a family and make it a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Now, what about you know, a lot of teenagers don't want to wear some helmets.
Yes.
How do you make it a wee bit more fun or more cool? Are you going to sort of, are you interested in putting something in place so that, you know, that gets encouraged as well?
So for teenagers, there are different issues. It's still a bit about safety, but it's about what's cool and what their peers and what their expectations. So if they cycle as they labelled as something, if they cycle what their mates think they're a bit uncool. So there's issues. There's issues around helmets, about that they clearly, some people, that is the barrier. And there's a big debate that can be had about whether we should make helmets compulsory. But certainly there are different issues and different barriers for different kids. But actually, of course, once they get to secondary school, quite a lot walk then, and there are still numbers cycling, but we need to overcome some of those barriers. Yes,
overcome some of the barriers. That
Absolutely.
seems to be the key, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, let's hope we get more people cycling out there. But after the break, we're going to talk to Robin Young about Autism Day.
Every Monday night I'll take you out and about around the region's A&P shows from Cheviot to Temuka. You'll meet the exhibitors, have a look at the sheep and cattle and horses, and also have a look at what people have been producing. Rob's Country Showtime, 8:30 on a Monday night, CTV.
CTV News and Weather, first at 5. Be the first to find out about the rebuild, local politics, business, sports, culture and community. CTV News and Weather, first at 5, only on CTV.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, the naturopath here at Staywell Pharmacy. Working with the pharmacist, I use herbal and nutritional medicine to recommend natural alternatives for your health. This can be to counteract any side effects of your medication, general health advice, or natural options for you and your family. I'm also available for consultations. So come in and see us at Staywell Pharmacy, 27 Shands Road, Hornby. Staywell Pharmacy, live well, stay well.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Hurst Auto Dismantlers, your one-stop shop for all your mechanical and car part needs. Our huge premises boasts a large selection of mechanical parts, panels, tyres and glass. Most makes and models are available on site, and if we don't have it, our trusted staff will do their best to source what you need locally and nationwide. So come in and see the team, or just give us a call and save time and money. Hurst Auto Dismantlers, 343 0099.
CTV News and Weather, first at 5. Be the first to find out about the rebuild, local politics, business, sports, culture and community. CTV News and Weather, first at 5, only on CTV.
I've got Robin Young here. Thanks very much for coming in. Now, the 2nd of April is actually World Autism Day, isn't it?
It is. World Autism Awareness Day.
Well, awareness, I think
Awareness?
actually, let's start there. Do you think that people are more aware about autism and about the great spectrum of autism and how it's not one size fits all? There are different experiences for different people.
Absolutely right. It's definitely not one size fits all. I think generally speaking the awareness is increasing, and in the time that I've been involved with Autism New Zealand I can see a definite increase in people's understanding, ability to get alongside, and also the willingness to find out more about autism, so that's huge.
So do they contact you personally, or do you find that people actually look up your website, www.autismnz.org.nz?
That's right.
Have more people gone through the website than personal contact to find out information?
I think it's a mixture of all of the above. I think people go through the website, they ring their local branch, so here it's the Canterbury West Coast branch of Autism New Zealand. Sometimes, yes, they do ask to speak to a specific individual, not always. Sometimes it's word of mouth. Somebody else has had an experience with Autism New Zealand, so they pass that on. So I think people come to us from a wide range of backgrounds and through a range of avenues as well.
Well, why do they contact you? Is it for their own help, to help others? What sort of things do people ring you or talk to you about?
That's huge. It might be they have just received a diagnosis for a family member and they want further information, and where can they go for support? It might be they suspect a family member has autism, so where do they go for a diagnosis or assessment? They might just want to know some more information about, well, actually what is autism and how does it impact on somebody's life and the people they live and work with. It might be a teacher, it might be another professional, it might be somebody working with somebody they suspect might be on the spectrum or has disclosed that they are, and they want further information to help them work alongside that person. So the questions that we get are huge, huge range.
It sounds like it. So what kind of things can you offer them, like in terms of support? Do you go out to families and help, or do you have a lot of people that work with you that not just give them information about autism, but okay, so if this is the case and you do know somebody who has autism, what can you do to help them help them?
Here in the Canterbury West Coast branch, yes, we can go out and visit a family, we can go out into schools, we can go out into the community and talk to groups. This morning I did a professional development session with people who work for the Ministry of Social Welfare and Development. So we provide information, education to anybody who wants that, and we certainly will visit with families one-on-one, with individuals one-on-one. Either they can come to us or we will go to them.
And so you must be able to sort of help where there's been a barrier, because I know, talking to somebody who has the website sbhelp.co.nz, Jan Brooking was actually talking about some of the barriers that they've had to deal with in terms of autism.
Absolutely.
Possibly barriers that have been there with medical professionals, how that they can bridge the gap to talk to a patient and to really talk to them, to help them and not sort of put them off from going, because...
It's all of that.
Yeah.
And it is all around creating an understanding of what autism is and how it manifests. And if we understand why, then we can better deal with that and allow people to reach their potential, really.
Yes, exactly. It sounds like that's just what you do. And so it must be really, I imagine, rewarding. Would you say that would be the case? A
lot of the time it is. We see some amazing things going on, especially parents, whom I really take my hat off to. We say that parents are the experts on their own children.
Yes.
Professionals, there is a lot of wonderful work goes on, but there is still a long way to go, because there are sometimes situations where the wheels do fall off, and Autism New Zealand can be involved in those situations again in terms of trying to facilitate a more positive way forward.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So would one of those positive ways be to have this World Autism Day?
Absolutely, and Autism New Zealand celebrates that with a multicoloured Mayhem Day, which can be actually any day in the month of April. So a school, an organisation, a community group can celebrate that by dressing up in multicolours or decorating their shop window, or celebrating in a way that celebrates those with autism and celebrates the achievements, celebrates the wonderful individuals that these people are. And if I could just mention that on the West Coast on Sunday, the 5th of April, there are a group of parents who've organised a Light It Up Blue event, a fun run walk, which is going to raise funds for parents on the West Coast who have children on the spectrum. And it's not too late to register, so there is a Facebook page called West Coast Light It Up Blue. Here in Christchurch there are several schools and businesses coming on board and organising events for Multicoloured Mayhem Day.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. And so we can go to the website if we want to find out more about that day?
You can absolutely go to the website and find out more about the day.
Oh, thank you very much for coming in, Robin. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, after the break, we've got some new and creative ways of how you can make some gorgeous food platters.
I'm I'm Chris Lynch. Join me for CTV's new current affairs show Lynched every Monday at 8:30 right here on CTV, where I talk to the decision makers and those responsible for running our city.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Christchurch has its very own enchanted utopia, the Hitching Post. Pop in and see for yourself. A magical assortment of handmade creations, custom-made candles and artwork. Choose from our huge range of water features, garden art and imported giftware. Specialists in handcrafted metal artwork made in store. Nestled on 722 Marshlands Road. The Hitching Post, defining art our way.
Be immersed in the unique cultural highlights Germany has to offer every Tuesday night with Discover Germany. Tuesday at 7 p.m, right here on CTV. Tomorrow Today is your science program, presenting a comprehensive overview of the latest trends in science and research. Tomorrow Today, Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m, right here on CTV.
You've been invited to a party, you've had a hard day at work, and now you've come home and have to prepare a platter and get organised in an hour. So we've got some ideas today that you can make a simple platter with some ingredients. If you've had a bit of a think about it beforehand and you've got them ready in your fridge, and you should be able to put this together in half an hour and be ready to go and have something really amazing to show your friends. So we're just going to start with something quite simple. It's just a bit of a take on sushi without the rice. So we're just going to cut cucumber, and this is a really simple base for any sort of hors d'oeuvre, of course, because you don't have to do any cooking, all ready to go just like that. And what I've got here is just some tinned salmon, and I've just crushed that up. You really don't need much, and that's the beauty of these ideas, that often if you've got something just left over in the fridge, you can use all sorts of bits and pieces that you've got rather than going and buying a whole lot of new ingredients. So I've just put some low-fat mayo in there, and that's one big thing. The low-fat mayo is much better for us, of course, because normal mayonnaises can be up to 80% fat, so I want to try and avoid that if you can, especially at this time of year where there's lots of this sort of eating. So I'm just mixing in wasabi as well, and you will know if you've ever had a kick of wasabi that you don't want to have too much of that in there, because it really does give you a whack to the nose if it's too strong. So just a little bit of wasabi and a bit of mayonnaise. I'm just going to spoon that mixture onto the cucumber, just a little bit on each one. You could actually use fresh salmon or fresh tuna if you really wanted to do something a bit special. But the tinned salmon, most people have some tinned salmon in the cupboard, which is always easy to just grab if you're doing this sort of thing. So just pop a little bit of lemon on each one. That's just adding a little bit of colour. And just for that extra flavour that does sort of link up with the sushi taste, a little bit of pickled ginger. So that wasabi and that ginger together really do work nicely together. Right, so for our next one, we're going to use little bamboo boats. And if you haven't seen these before, if you Google bamboo boats, you will find a whole lot of local people who sell these in all sorts of amounts, so you don't have to invest a huge amount just to get them, but they make a really good change to a platter. So I'm just putting what was a really popular salad last year in these ones, and this is the rocket, pear, walnut and blue cheese, their other ingredient in these. So I've just chopped that rocket up. You'll see it's fitting in there quite nicely, and that's because I've just chopped it up not too finely, but just so that it fits in there. And the same with cheese. I've just chopped everything up so that you don't have to gobble the whole thing in one mouthful, because that's sort of too much when you're trying to hold a drink and have these as well. So just pop that cheese in there, a couple of bits of cheese in each one.
And same with the walnuts. You can actually roast those walnuts if you have time, just in a little bit of oil and a little bit of salt. That makes them extra tasty, but of course you don't have to. If you're trying to put this together in half an hour, you might not have time to do those sorts of things. So then just a little bit of pear, and again, the pear is beautiful if you have time to roast that with a little bit of honey the night before. That is really amazing too. So just drizzle over a tiny bit of balsamic on those, and I just put a little cocktail fork with these. And like I say, you could do the same if you put any sort of little mini salad in those. Have a cocktail fork, but of course if you don't have cocktail forks, a toothpick would be fine. Well, that just makes a really interesting looking salad there. So the next one we're going to do, these are little mini cheese boards, and I find these really neat if you've had some people over the night before, and you know what it's like when you put a cheese board out. You end up with little bits of cheese, little bits of olives, little bits and pieces all through your fridge that you can't really make another cheese board out of because you don't have quite enough of everything. So these little individual cheese boards on these lovely bran biscuits, I've just got a little bit of brie here. You can put any cheese on it. You could put a combination of cheeses if you wanted to. And I've just got some gherkin. These are just little bits and pieces of things I found in the fridge. A little bit of gherkin. Try and mix up your colours so that they look really attractive. So I've got the green of the gherkin, the purple of the grapes, and then I've just got some fruit jelly. And you could put pesto, a little bit of pesto on these, any sort of dip that you have in the fridge left over that you would normally put on a cheese board, just to add all those flavours together. So that looks really different too, and easy for people to pick up and take away and have their own little cheese board. Now the last thing I'm going to set up is just some kebabs, and you can see we're trying to go for different looks with each of the items there. These kebabs are just really simple and not much on them, but they're really tasty. So I've just got some smoked chicken, and you can cut this up into any size. These chunks are quite big, but you could make it smaller than that if you wanted to. So I've just got a cube of that, and I've got some avocado, which I've just put into some lemon juice, just to stop it from going brown. And then just a wedge of lemon, and the lemon adds that lovely flavour to these and stops the avocado going too brown also. So if you just make up a few of those to go together on there, and I'll just put that lemon on the end so you can see that looks great together. So those colours look absolutely awesome together. You could put a few more kebabs on there also, but I think that platter looks amazing, and I think your friends would really love it. All you need is some lippy and a jacket, and you're ready to go.
Thank you, Nicola, and thank you for joining me today. We'll see you again here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Welcome to CTV's weekly prize draw, where you could win up to $5,000 every week. Each day we photograph cars displaying the CTV prize draw sticker. The car's owner contacts the station and wins a daily cash prize of $50. Once a week, one of the daily winners is selected to come into the studio and to try to win a prize of up to $5,000. Here's how it works. There are 40 envelopes on the prize board. Inside them are prizes worth $250, $1,000 and $5,000. To win the prize, our lucky viewer has to select 5 envelopes with the same prize value. Our viewer chooses a number. We open the envelope, call out the prize amount, and then our lucky viewer will select another envelope. As soon as we've got 5 envelopes with the same prize for our viewer, we'll know how much money they'll be taking home with them. Now it's time to meet this week's lucky viewer and see if they can win the top prize of $5,000.
Hi and welcome to this week's CTV Cash Giveaway. I'm Lisa and today I'm joined by our lucky viewer, Andrea. How are you feeling, Andrea?
Oh, very excited, Lisa.
Are you ready to win some cash?
Absolutely.
Great, well let's get straight into it. Can I have your first number, please?
Number 2.
Number 2, nice and easy. All right, just cut this one open for you. See what's inside. All right, are you ready? Our first one is the consolation prize, that's $250. All right, what would you like to go for next?
Number 14.
14, fantastic. All right, now is there a reason you've chosen number 14?
I tend to go for even numbers.
Oh, really?
I like even numbers.
Even numbers, have they worked well for you in the past?
No, they haven't.
Oh, okay, that's not so good. All right, let's have a look in here. And another consolation prize. All right, you're looking good for $250 so far.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get something else for you. What would you like to go with?
Number 8.
Number 8. It's my birth date. I like that number. All right. Any guesses on this one?
Oh, I think maybe 1,000.
1,000. Let's have a look. See if you're right. Another consolation prize. That $250 is liking you.
Very exciting. Number 26.
26 this time. All right, let's see if we can get you a good number in here. Here we go. Fingers crossed it's something a bit bigger. Another consolation prize.
Wow,
That $250 definitely wants you to win it. All right, let's see if we can keep this going.
Number 40.
Number 40, ooh. All right, here we go. This could be it. Are you ready? All right. $1,000. It keeps going. All right.
Okay.
What would you like to go with next? Mix it up a bit.
See, number 33.
33. Oh. Here we go. Could be all over after this one. Let's have a look. And it's a consolation prize. Andrea, you have won at $250. How do you feel about that?
That's amazing.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
What are you thinking of doing with the $250?
Well, I'll do something with my children, I think.
Oh,
Maybe
that's fantastic.
take them out. Yes.
You can show them this big check. That's your $250.
Thank you.
Any idea where you might take them?
Not yet, but it will be something exciting, I'm
big
sure.
surprise. They'll be excited to see them on TV as well, I'm sure.
Lovely.
So that's it from us today. Join me next week for our weekly CTV Cash Giveaway straight after.
That's this week's prize draw. Be sure to keep watching, and if you haven't got a sticker on your car, call CTV on 3777033 or visit Challenge service stations to be in to win.